You fucking angry. I don't know what it's about, but it's a coffeezilla video that he made. I guess it's about Melania Trump and some Epstein connections that weren't even around yet. So that's what we're gonna watch real quick. And we're gonna see what's in this shit, because it seemed more interesting than the Sabrina Carpenter stuff. Because, like, let's be honest, like, I don't really care all that much about her being pissed off about a yodel, which she's entitled to. If she doesn't like a yodel, she doesn't like a yodel. Like, personally, I think it's a little weird, but I digress.
Melania Trump just broke the internet, all right? She decided, you know what? I'm just going to do the thing that no one's willing to do. She shows up and she actually unbelievably shreds the entire class of people that's hiding the Epstein information, and she actually drops a truth nuke. I'll be real, I always liked Melania. I think that she's been incredible. She's honestly a person that, for the most part, keeps her mouth shut. She... Yeah. Man,
sorry, guys,
she's a
I had
great
the chat
woman.
box
She
off
stays
earlier
quiet.
for
No,
my
that was a
recording
joke.
of,
However, for the most part, she doesn't actually get involved with administrative
Available
stuff.
only on
She's not out there
Patreon.
flaunting her opinions like Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom's wife, going out there talking about whatever the hell. She just seems like a very supportive wife in general, someone who clearly loves her children. In fact, the last time she actually got involved with some sort of political situation was where she wrote a personal handwritten letter to Putin telling him, hey, you're killing a lot of kids. Please, let's end this war. So I'll admit I was surprised that she did this, but I am not that surprised that she did this. Her heart does, so far, from what I've seen from her, seem to be in the right place. And despite the fact that this administration, yes, I am a big fan of Trump in general, this administration has been absolutely diabolical with covering up the Epstein files. Not nearly as badly as under Biden, where none of the Democrats said anything. Where,
I know,
you know, obviously
miraculously.
they covered everything up forever. Like, I'm not forgetting the timeline here. Trump ratted on Epstein in 2008. He got arrested. Under Trump's first term, they arrested Epstein. Under Trump's second term, they released the files. Not all the files, and a lot of redactions in the files, don't get me wrong. But there is not enough, all right? There is absolutely not enough. So I'm really happy Melania did this. All right, let's see what's
The Epstein story truly will not die.
Oh,
I thought it
wow.
was killed the moment we started killing people in Iran, but suddenly it was brought back by...
No. It needs to be finished. Like, we need to get all that shit out. And I know there's a lot of glare on my glasses right now. Sorry. It'll go away in a second. But yeah, no, this needs to keep coming until everything comes out and people start going to jail, because people have not gone to jail for the actual Epstein files. The arrests that have been made in England were for inappropriate use of classified information. Basically, they were giving Epstein information about shit so that he could profit off of it. Shocker, that's how rich people get richer. Shocking fucking, I know, right? Who would have guessed?
None other than the First Lady, Melania Trump.
All
She
right,
suddenly
boys.
started denying things, even though...
But yeah, diddling all the kids, that didn't... Why are you moving over there, Nux? Why are you doing this to me? Why do you hate me, sir? Why? 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 There's all that open space on his other shoulder, Nux. Damn it.
No one
I don't
has
care.
accused her
Chat,
of
cover his
anything
face.
yet.
Do
but
it.
if you listen to her, it's clear
Get it.
someone's about to.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
Now, if you're wondering what lies she's talking about,
I'm surprised he's saying this, because the lies were very obvious. There were a lot of lies. People were saying that Jeffrey Epstein introduced her to Trump, and she was, like, controlled by Epstein, and that's how Trump got, compromised by Epstein. I've seen these lies and conspiracies. I mean, I don't know if they're lies. But as far as I'm aware, I've seen these...
I have not actually seen any of these conspiracies, so these are all new to me. I do my goddamn best to not fucking pay any attention to shit unless it comes from Nux. I'll be completely honest, guys. If it doesn't come across my X feed or pop up on Ground News, it's Nux. That's where I get it. I don't follow any of the bullshit coming from any of these fucking actual news sites. Like, if it's not good enough for Ground News or Nux, it's not good enough for me.
Conspiracies flying around for a long time now. I'm surprised that we're not mentioning this. But as far as presidents go, Trump seems to be
Didn't
the
make it
least
there.
compromised president by Jeffrey Epstein in a long time. Epstein was working with all the push.
And if it did, they pushed it all the way to the bottom of the fucking page and put some actual interesting shit up above it, because I did not see it at all. Not a fucking, I swear, not a single word.
Trans stuff, with the globalization, with the immigration, with the vaccination. Like, Jeffrey Epstein's been working with all that. So far, we have no evidence that Trump is compromised at all. So anyway,
I don't actually know, because really there hasn't been a lot of reporting on Melania Trump.
I don't know about reporting, but there's been a lot of like internet conspiracy theories pushing that she was like controlled by Jeffrey Epstein. Given,
Bro, we do not fucking lurk on Reddit like you, though. I don't know about you guys in my chat, but I'm not a fucking Reddit fucking sloth. This is my sloth. This right here is my sloth. I don't do any of that fucking Reddit. What's the 4chan? I don't know if that's an actual site or if that's a person or something. I don't know. I hear it a lot. It might be a site. It might. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to it. I'm not finding out. Yeah, Nex, I'm that bad. I don't care. I literally do not care. It's a site? Cool. Don't care.
to Trump as like a president.
And Epstein. She appears very rarely in the files. The only thing I've seen is an email.
Yeah, and we're not lazy, bruh. We're energy efficient. I'm sure it is, and that's why I'm never going to go there. I have no interest in being traumatized by a website.
Email with Ghislaine Maxwell where they're talking in a friendly way, which she addresses in this statement. Really, the only other thing is reporting from Michael Wolff that Trump and Melania may have been introduced by Jeffrey Epstein, although...
Why is he downplaying that? That's massive if that's true. All right, first of all, there's no evidence of that. Second of all, if that's true, that's huge. That means Jeffrey Epstein gave Trump his wife. And now, for...
I don't know if you can say it that way. I mean, they both did the... Back in the early 90s, they were both big into the models and stuff, because Trump had his beauty pageants. So, like, I mean, just say, hey, this is a new model, and that's how they were introduced, but it was through Jeffrey Epstein. Like, that's really stretching it, in my opinion. Just in my opinion, if that's the way it was. Because, like I said, a lot of Epstein's contacts were talent finders that also were in the modeling game. Like, one was a photographer, like big high-end photographer in like France or something, that ended up killing himself in prison before trial too. But he was like a big friend of Jeff, and he was also like a talent guy / photographer with models. So if that's like how he introduced them, like, fuck off. Just fuck off.
Ever has her whispering into his ear as some sort of Epstein operative or some shit. Like, that's massive. If true, which is why I think it makes perfect sense that she would want to address that and be like, yo, that's a lie.
Those stories have been since retracted. And so the question is,
Yeah, 'cause they're
if
lies.
those stories have been retracted, no one's really talking about that email. What are you talking about?
Well,
here? Like,
people are
literally,
still
what
fucking
lies
talking about it.
All right.
are you trying to get ahead of? This is just a text version of the speech she gave.
Okay.
She talks about, people
Super bright on my
defaming
face. Sorry, guys.
her reputation.
New screen
Saying,
is
to be clear, I never had a
quite-
relationship with
quite
Epstein
nice.
or his accomplice Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. And here's that email with Ghislaine calling her, "Sweet Pea, thanks for your message. Actually, plans changed again, and I am now on my way back to New York. I leave again on Friday, so still, I do not think I'll have time to see you." And Melania allegedly says, "I know you're busy flying all over the world. How is Palm Beach? I can't wait to go down." So the idea that there's no relationship there, probably not.
right.
I mean,
but
we'll see.
again, this was not something on the tip.
That's really innocuous. Like, how was Palm Beach? I know you were down there. I'm about to go down there. Was it nice? Like, That's nothing, Burger. Just like what's his name? Ludnick stopping in for lunch at the island while he's on vacation with his boat and his wife and his kids, and they had lunch and left. Like, that's a big fat nothing. I mean, what is that? He wasn't even aware of what was going on at the time, and he stopped in with his entire family, but they're making it seem like he stopped in for a sex party with his fucking 5-year-old or 8-year-old fucking son or daughter, like, in tow. Like, are you guys fucking serious? What was he doing? Fucking giving him to Jeffrey? Like, what the fuck are you people on?
Of everyone's tongue. I mean, you can look at Google.
Okay, there's tip of everyone's tongue, and there's also the fact that it's literally talked about a lot, right? Like, bro.
There are circles, guys.
Search trends, like what people are interested in looking at, and it's very obvious that this was.
Now, I think I might be like, I don't know his real name, VOLDEMORT, coffeezilla, however you want to call him. Like, I'm more of the normal side, whereas Nux down here below me, like, he knows where to go for all that shit. I'm sure he knows where to go too, but he just doesn't want to, because ew. And we don't, fuck that shit. I don't want it. But there's people that work for the government that probably see it on a daily basis, and they probably talk about it quite a lot. It's probably in intelligence briefings and stuff, where people are fucking doing stuff and talking about stuff that pertains to the first family. So it's in intelligence briefings and stuff. So they probably see everything. Literally everything that gets posted everywhere is probably some kind of briefing that happens at the White House in some way, shape, or form. As crazy as that sounds, like, I guarantee it. If my account was not locked right now, if I posted up something bad about Donald Trump, if it was bad enough, they'd come talk to me. They'd be here in hours. But at the very least, they'd at least be talking about it. Somebody would have a conversation somewhere about it, whether or not they needed to worry about it. And then somebody, if it was bad enough, they would come talk to me in person. 2 people would show up at my front door. So if you think that you posting shit is fucking anonymous, fucking you're funny.
Very much not a story until she started talking about it. This is what it looks like. I mean, this thing has been dead. This is the last 7 days. If you look at the past 90 days, I mean, literally nothing until all of a sudden Melania Trump comes out of nowhere on the official White House account.
But what is your thing tracking? Because you're cutting it off and just showing your analysis. See, that's where I don't like it. Like, what are you actually checking? Like, Google searches? Because it's probably not Google searches, guys. That's not where they're talking about it. They're not talking about it on Google. They're talking about it on places like 4chan and all those other fucking crazy sites. On chat boards and shit like that. In chat rooms. Crazy fucking psycho chat rooms. But they're still talking about it there. And it's all being recorded.
And all of a sudden starts throwing around denials like she's the subject of a Netflix crime docuseries. So again...
No, they've been talking...
Again! She probably is in some circles, and it probably is something that the government is aware of, and so she is putting out a statement like, the shit needs to fucking stop. Because she's sick of fucking hearing about it. Just because it's not showing up on Google does not mean it's not happening.
Talking about this a lot, though. What are we even talking about? Like, dude, I'll just give you a stupid example. Right, here's a tweet. It's just a tweet. It's true. But it has like almost 1 million views. It has 30,000 likes. And is like leaked. Melania Trump was heavily involved with Epstein and likely trafficked to Trump as a sex slave. What? This is super viral.
And where's that
I
from?
would totally understand
When's
why
that
she
from?
wants to actually
How old
debunk
is it?
something like this.
April
That is really
10th.
big. And there's a lot of these. A lot of these retards keep pushing this.
That's
This is one of the
April 10th
big
again.
Democrat.
You gotta go.
accounts
You gotta go
breaking
earlier than
Melania
that,
Trump had
because I'm
sex
sure
with
that
Jeffrey
there were
Epstein.
people that were talking about it
Well,
before
what are we
then.
even talking about? There's no evidence of any of this shit. Right? However, I understand why someone
this
would
is
want to
after
debunk that.
she
but
had talked
just
about
the
it on the
fact
7th.
that she's addressing things doesn't prove anything.
The whole video is.
But it will fucking explode the gambit and make people go crazy, because people are fucking crazy and they're gonna try and profit. And you know what profits? Views, clicks, impressions. That's what happens.
bizarre.
I wish
She's
I could do that
warning
shit.
people about fake images
Try and make some money.
and statements about Epstein and her.
Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false.
We saw 'em.
I mean, again, what is
It's been happening for a while. She's finally sick of it. Like, I don't understand. Just because it's not a mainstream story doesn't mean it's not still a story. I'm not sure. I think me and Nux are here on agreement. Like, I'm not sure where Void's going with this.
she talking about? That
I think
Like,
it's
is he just
reasonable.
trying to shit on
again,
Melania?
I'm surprised that Coffeezilla is getting like really twisted out of shape about this. I feel like this is a pretty regular thing to do when people are circulating false images of you sleeping with the most notorious pedophile of our generation.
Yeah, shit. Weren't they just weren't they using like a 16-year-old Melania image just a few months ago to try and smear people? Like, I seem to remember that. I don't remember where it was, but wasn't that the Mr. Beast stuff? Maybe that was the Chris Tyson stuff. Was where they were using like the 16-year-old Melania picture from when she was a model. I think, maybe. I don't know. It might have been something that was in like one of their chat rooms or something. But, neither here nor there.
I think that you would definitely want to shut that down.
One of those Mighty Nux investigative videos. He did such a good job on that Mr. Beast stuff.
Right?
what photos, what statements? People have not been talking about this. Literally, no one's been talking about this.
That's not true. Like, that's just objectively false. I just showed you 2 examples. And there's billions of examples.
Let me say, as somebody in media,
Again, Nux's 2 examples that he just showed were after her initial thing where it spiked again, and now everybody's talking about it. So, like, that's Coffeezilla's point, is it was completely flatlined on Google, but that's just Google. And again, Nux's 2 examples were post her talking about it. So,
this screams she got an email saying, hey, we're running this story, and she's trying to get it.
sorry, we don't let anybody slip here. Nobody gets a free pass. Sorry, Nux, nobody gets a free pass. Nobody just gets to be out here fucking talking shit. Like, both of your examples were late.
Ahead of it by basically
Also possible.
this is
Possible.
essentially damage
Maybe.
control of some kind. Now, I'm not
Maybe.
saying that the story that might run is true. I'm not saying that the story will run.
Anyway,
Well, you know who's probably going to get sued? Those 2 examples that decided to say Melania was a sex slave for Jeffrey Epstein. That was really fucking stupid. Because, yeah, it's pretty easy to prove defamation when you call somebody a sex slave to a pedophile. Yeah, not great. Not great. For the record, I am not saying that. I am not saying that. I am, in fact, on Melania's side. So,
this video came out, 4 days ago now? Yeah, so there was no story that came out about this. So,
Run. Because this is a very calculated statement to essentially threaten the people who are thinking about running that story, which we're going to get into in a second. But I just want to be clear that there's no real reason why this would happen. I mean, again, the Epstein story was dead because of the war, everything else going on. People were distracted. To have the first lady suddenly broadcasting this.
Maybe
People
she
did
wants
not forget.
justice. It's like, I love how everyone's like trying to find and calculate like really weird, nefarious motives for why someone would want to say something like this. But maybe she just doesn't want to be lumped in with Epstein. And she wanted to make like a pretty definitive statement saying, no, I actually have nothing to do with this guy.
Could be part of it.
Bad.
From the White House account. Like, why would you do this unless you had an imminent need to do it? You could just wait otherwise.
Anyway, 4 days later, there has been no proof of an imminent need to do it.
Until everyone else is denying stuff. Like Comms 101, you don't talk about anything you don't want to bring attention to. And two, if you're going to issue a denial, issue it when everyone else is talking, right? You don't issue it when everyone in the theater is quiet and then you raise your hand and you go, hey guys, I didn't do it. You know, that's the last time. I mean, already you don't.
I mean, true. It was definitely a terrible timing on her part, though.
Want to be issuing denial.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think it's possible. Maybe there is some sort of cover up here involved. Maybe not, though.
Out of nowhere, but if you're going to issue them when, you know, everybody, Howard Lutnick, all of these guys are spitting out denials.
You see, but I think the Howard Lutnicks are actually likely guilty of shit. And I think that dude's suspicious as fuck. All right. So yeah.
Jess Staley, Bill Gates, all these prominent people are issuing denials. You could be the little hand and be like, yeah, I deny it too. But to suddenly be talking about false smears when there's no story out about it.
But that's not the whole statement, though. Her statement continues to say Epstein was not alone. We need to actually go after these people. Maybe that was the main purpose of the statement. Maybe the main purpose of the statement was to not let people forget about Epstein. Despite the fact that that's obviously not what her husband wants. But maybe that's what she wants. Maybe she actually cares about the victims. Finally, someone caring about victims instead of using it as like a political prop.
I
This is
doubt
novel.
that's it.
Not you yet. It just screams, hey, I know this story's going to
No
drop.
offense.
They probably reached out for comment or something like that. And this is her way of front-running the story.
Anyway, nothing dropped.
It's my best guess. I mean, otherwise, this is a truly mystifying action that, honestly, I'm happy about. I've been frustrated that I can't really talk about the Epstein files because nobody's interested in it right now. Nobody's been interested in the story lately. The pressure to release the actual unredacted files. Remember, they said they released them in full, but they are actually redactions on top of the redactions. There just wasn't a lot of momentum for that, and it just seemed like people stopped caring the moment we had all these other issues. And so this would be the biggest tactical error of all time.
That's just not true. Yes, there are a lot of other things going on right now, but I don't think anybody stopped caring. I certainly didn't stop caring. I need pedophiles to start going to fucking jail, please. Like, that needs to start happening post-haste. Pedos, jail, penis guillotine, public execution, whatever you guys want to do. I'm cool with the whole fucking 9 yards. Like, shit, we can push it to 10 yards if you guys want to.
It might still be, unless you had to respond to something.
You guys know that Iran uses fucking cranes for their public executions? Just fucking lifts them off the fucking ground with a fucking big fucking industrial crane. They've been doing it since the fucking 80s. We could start doing that with our pedophiles. Just fucking lift them off the ground with a crane. Fucking do it. Let's go.
And so,
Unless it was the purpose of this speech was the second half of the speech, which he didn't get to yet.
I think the only question in my mind personally is like, well, what story is possibly going to come out? And will it come out with all of these kind of threats? Because this is a very lawyered statement. It's obvious this was carefully prepared. And parts of it specifically call out different elements of defamation. They say, hey, they're trying to defame my reputation. They start talking about her good name. They talk about these outlets wanting to gain financially. And then specifically this...
I'm not gonna lie, guys. As far as I'm aware, Melania Trump is one of the nicest, like, political wives around. Like, she's always doing philanthropy stuff. Yeah, like, I honestly can't think of a bad thing to say about her. So, yeah. She could definitely, probably. I'm more than likely, I think she would have a pretty solid case in court for defamation. Because she has such a good name.
Statement right here. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. That is a direct call out to anyone who's thinking about publishing.
Sounds like somebody contacted her. Like, the more I hear this, the more it sounds like somebody contacted her because they were about to drop a story and asked for her comment in it. And she's like, excuse you? I did what now? Who introduced me to Donald? Oh, is that so?
Hey, we've done it in the past.
True.
We're basically going to sue you if you report on this because of my great reputation. Basically, beware, we will come at you with obviously the full, financial and political.
All right, see, now I've got what Coffee's been saying. Like, he went a little over the top at the beginning. I'll be honest. Like, it was a little theatrical there, Coffee. Calm down, man. But yeah, I think we're on the same page. Somebody probably reached out to her for comment on an article they were planning to write about her being a sex slave to Jeffrey Epstein. And she came out guns a-blasting.
Support of her name. And here's more of what she said.
My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins,
Wait, so she is directly calling liars.
UK.
So there it is. She's saying, hey, we've already had.
I've already told these little bitches in court to apologize because a judge decided they were liars. So let's keep going if you wanna. Oh, see, this is why I can't say anything bad about any of these people. Like, you guys all want to talk shit. Like, I'm sure there's going to be somebody somewhere that's like, oh, Melania Trump, she's so evil. She's so evil. She's just, oh, so evil. I think she's awesome.
People retract in the past, but that brings us back to, the question of, well, then what lies are you talking about that need to stop? If you've already had retractions, right? What
From
lies about the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein linking to you are we still discussing here? And that's why
people are still discussing it all over the place.
it has to be a new story, because she's saying we've already defended all these stories in the past. Of course, signaling to anyone who's going to drop this story, hey, maybe think twice about coming at me because we're going to come back at you twice as hard. Now, the most interesting other part of this
All right, here we go, because I think this is the most interesting part.
story was the posture related to Epstein itself. Obviously, we know the administration's official story this whole time is that it was all a hoax. Epstein worked alone. He only trafficked to himself. And so you would expect
I like that
she
one.
would
That
kinda
one was
toe
cute.
the line. And I think what is so interesting about this statement is,
Yup.
one,
Oh,
breaking the cone of silence in the first place, like the
Yeah. It's just for himself. He brought in, what was it, $200 million worth of girls from one country, all for himself. Yep. He had to have a different girl every 17 minutes. He had a sexual addiction, you see. It's all very clinical. I'm sure some doctor out there will say that. But yes, he did spend like I forgot which country it was. Maybe it might have been Turkey. It really might have been Turkey, you guys. Oh, this is gonna hurt my brain thinking. Thinking sucks. I think it really was Turkey though. But yeah, there was it came out in one of the file dumps. He purchased like $200 million worth of girls from one country, like through back channels and shit. Yeah, No idea where they all went, but no idea at all.
Whole thing where they just don't talk about Epstein unless they have to. And you can see in the last 30 days, the interest in Epstein was waning until all of a sudden this statement brought it all back up. And so obviously that goes against it, but so does her characterization of Epstein himself, which I found really interesting. She aligns herself totally on the sides of, one, the people who were abused, who say there was more than just Epstein.
Yep.
And two, she explicitly says it herself. She's like, yeah, Epstein was...
This is awesome, though.
Yeah.
Right? This is great. Like, I mean, from her perspective, obviously. It's not great.
Not only is she like, hey, I was not in on it, but all these fuckers that were, they need to go to jail.
That there were rape victims, but maybe perhaps she wanted to actually put pressure to release shit.
It's definitely not
Fuck
alone.
off,
And we know she
Tulu.
can't just mean Ghislaine Maxwell either because of what she says immediately afterwards.
Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth.
Again, I can't imagine a more direct shot at the way this has all been handled by the FBI and DOJ. She's basically saying, hey, we still need to
And
uncover
that's why
the
I
truth.
like her.
Meanwhile, the DOJ is like, there is no truth to uncover. They're saying, oh, we've already released all the files. That's Todd Blanche's position. And Melania is saying, we still got to uncover it. He didn't work alone. These guys all resigned. You know, we got to find out the truth of if they were guilty. So I think to the outside, this is a very confusing statement. And it's kind of a mystery. Like, you have to put together why a statement like this would be made, why it would be made now.
Yeah.
And I think the
I'd love to
only
see what his
logical
analysis
conclusion
is.
that
He's right.
I or
What
really
does a
anyone
leftist
online,
think?
This is not exactly a hot take to imagine that there's a story coming. I just happen to think it's like insanely obvious because I've seen people wonder like, oh, that's pretty dumb that she addressed this. And it's like, no. The only reason she would address this is if she had to address it. But obviously, I'm happy about it. Everyone who's cared about this story is happy she brought
I mean,
it.
again, I'm happy she did this because I want to actually see justice and I want to see all these rich fucking pedophiles going to jail. I actually think that that's awesome. So I'm super happy she did this. But watching so many people be like, oh, the only reason why she did this is because she's guilty is like, it's evil. It's like, this is the evil slanderous bullshit that they've been using on everyone. You know, there is no evidence that she's guilty. So, like, literally shut the fuck up.
It up. And in
Would
that
be
way,
nice,
she's
but they're
kind
not going
of
to.
done everyone a favor. Everyone except for all the people who didn't want this to get brought back up. I mean, in some ways, she's just thrown them right under the bus.
Absolutely. I'm sure that, like, the deep state retards are furious that she did
Oh,
this. And
yeah.
I think it's amazing that she did this. Without a doubt. Certainly.
And then, like,
Yes.
yeah, there's definitely wrong stuff that was happening in these Epstein files. We need transparency. We need to listen to the victims. But, you know, I wasn't part of it. And I think it's interesting. She calls out Congress.
And I think it's the fact that there wasn't some massive campaign against her and she still decided to do this herself kind of proves that she's telling the truth. Unless something massive comes out that proves that this was getting ahead of something, I'm just going to assume that she did it in good faith, that she wanted justice for the victims. You know, this was kind of a dead story, and she decided to revive it. I mean, I think that that's incredibly noble.
Could also be that. She could have been seeing how the spotlight was leaving the Jeffrey Epstein stuff and wanted to put it back on it. Could have been that. Another option for your guys' own decision making. I'm not here to decide for you. I'm just here to give you a bunch of different options.
Saying that we need to listen to the victims of Epstein.
I call on Congress to provide the women who have been
Women.
victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors.
Again, you kind of can't imagine a position more against this administration.
Yeah, Congress, you stop being little bitches. Stop being little bitches and get some shit done.
Which is
This administration, bro, like, watching the bias of people is crazy.
Oh, yeah, no. Congress and the Senate are definitely not part of the administration. Like, John Thune needs to get fucking... Oh, can somebody please beat him? Please. I do mean in an election, by the way. In an election, John Thune needs to be fucking... Oh. Why is the Republican Party still like him? I don't understand.
Crazy. Like, coffeezilla does good journalism, but this is the only administration that ever talked about Epstein. Like, what are we
Like, none of the people actually like him. Why does the party still like him?
even doing? Are we being serious? Biden covers it up for 4 years and everyone's just completely silent about it? Like, come on, dude.
Just their whole thing has been bury, we don't care, even though they ran on releasing all this stuff. So it's interesting to watch her come out in like the complete opposite direction, like, yeah, we need more hearings, we need
Yeah,
sworn
it's incredibly awesome. It's unbelievable that she did this, truly. And I think it's incredible, yeah.
testimony, we need all this stuff, we need investigation. But even though I'm aligned with all of that, just remember, this is all in the wider context of getting ahead of something.
Maybe. I'm still waiting to see what you got ahead of.
Could be.
It's been 4 days.
Very well
Nothing
could be.
happened that she's out there trying to get ahead of right now.
What?
Also, if we keep down the coffeezilla rabbit hole, they could have been scared off of actually publishing. The threat of being sued does tend to work sometimes. You know? Like, cease and desist does in fact work.
What? I don't know. But I think we're going to find out very soon.
All right,
The
well-
Epstein story.
Yes, he is. He definitely is.
We'll see. We'll see if we will find out very soon. If we do, then I will admit that, yeah, I was
Well,
incorrect
one
in
of them.
reading
There
this,
are some
and
really
it was her
bad
just
ones.
trying to get ahead of something. And if we don't see some massive bombshell that she was trying to get ahead of, then it just kind of proves that she's out there trying to do the right thing by the victims. So she called on Congress to do this, and guess what happened? Shock of all shocks. Epstein survivors decline any public Congress hearings after Melania's speech yesterday. What the actual fuck, man? What are we even doing here? This is crazy. And by the way, I just pulled up some other like random tweets just off the top of the timeline.
What?
Paulo Zampoli is all over the Epstein files. He got Melania her visa, you know, like trying to make some sort of connection. And Melania was a hooker Epstein trafficked in and sold to Trump. She was a prostitute and still is, all right? No evidence of any of that. You know, Tucker Carlson goes out there talking about how Trump and Starmer are enslaved by Israel. Melania and Epstein were an Israeli op. What are we doing here, guys? Like, what are we doing? Obviously, there's discussion in this regard, and she doesn't want to get involved in
Course.
that. Macron posted this today. It's Melania's first pump. Jeffrey Epstein, community note, that never happened. You know, and this is an AI image that's been literally everywhere of Melania and Jeffrey Epstein. Is that
Since
Melania
February
getting kissed
5th.
by Epstein? Question mark. Wow. You know, hundreds
See,
of
this
thousands
is a good
of
one.
views on these boys, right?
That was a good one from February 5th during the quiet period.
This one has 2.1 million views, right? So, you know, is that Melania getting kissed by Epstein? Question mark. Oh, you can't sue me because I put a question mark on it. Oh, I'm just a satire account. Ha-ho, ha-ho, yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, he's
Melania
just a
had
parody
sex with
account.
Jeffrey Epstein. No evidence, 25,000 likes. You know, Melania Trump was heavily involved with Epstein, likely trafficked to Trump as a sex slave. 30,000 likes, 700,000 views, right? Like, you know. So you see this shit, and you're like, well, I understand why she wouldn't necessarily want to be involved with any of that. But anyway, it's definitely an
People really
interesting
like getting
conversation.
sued, I
think
guess.
it's incredibly cool that she did this, and that's why I'm talking about it now, because I hate that this story got buried, personally, and I would love to see some rich fucking pedophiles get killed. Legally, of course. Not calling for violence, but legal execution of pedophiles. That sounds pretty fucking awesome if you ask me. It's also, I'm not crying for the Iranian regime, but that's...
True. Also, yeah, public executions, cranes. Iran's been doing it for a while. Let's just get it going, guys. Let's do it. Bye.